England through to the last 16 by winning the group, courtesy tonight of a 1-0 victory over the Czech Republic. A better performance tonight, especially in the opening 45 minutes from Gareth Southgate's men. And there were a couple of contentious decisions before the game started. Raheem Sterling being included infuriated social media. Saka starting over Jadon Sancho infuriated social media. But, you know, Raheem Sterling picked up the second goal of his tournament so far. England's top goal scorer now on 2 goals. I thought Saka was excellent tonight. He truly, truly was. And very much deserves, and we're going to get into this later on in the show, we're going to be picking the starting 11 for the last 16 game. Of course, we don't know exactly who we're playing yet. But I think Saka had a brilliant game. Jack Grealish, for me, he arrived tonight at the tournament. And of course, the assist was sublime. Goal help created by Saka. Wonderful cross. Raheem Sterling, very proud of that Englishman, putting that ball in the back of the net. Jack Grealish, though, the moment of the night for me, the touch. Jordan Pickford kicks it long. And that touch out of the sky, honestly, it was like he controlled a cement bag. It was just, I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, the touch on him is impeccable. It's impeccable. It really is. Honestly, the touch, brother, absolutely amazing. But look, England, they petered out a little bit in that second half. They weren't as cohesive. They weren't as strong. But it is 3 clean sheets on the bounce. Did look fairly solid defensively again. Harry Maguire's re-inclusion, I think, was very, very important. And it was weird watching Harry Maguire playing a game and actually seeing a fair amount of encouragement from social media towards his performance. The way he carried the ball out was excellent tonight. Declan Rice, good performance from him as well. There's no doubt about it. Harry Kane looks a little bit sharper. Unlucky not to score. There's still a lot of question marks over him, but we know he's going to start in these games. But we do want your thoughts. We do want your feelings. We've got the panel coming on in a little bit to give us a bit of a view of today's game, but more importantly, looking ahead at the knockout stages. The knockout stages are almost upon us now. One more game of group games, one more day of group games to go. And then we're there. We're going to all know who we've got in the latter stages. And I want your views. I want your opinions on all of what we're talking about tonight. Smash that like and that share button. We're going to get some polls out for you very, very soon as well. Competition tonight. If you want to win a football shirt of your choice, super chat in who you think my man of the match is. Guess who my man of the match is to get your name put into the prize draw to win a shirt of your choice. Might get a nice little England one like this. The retro, we've got a few of the retro ones we've been giving away as well. They're pretty slick, to be fair. Let's go to some of your comments that are coming in here. Oh, yeah, by the way, commiserations to Scotland. Sorry, commiserations to Scotland. sorry. Scott, very sad news coming out of... Sorry, I'm this unprofessional. Scotland are sadly... No, I'm only messing. Well done. The goal from Modric. My word. People said he was finished. People said Modric was finished. They said he was finished. Go polish that 0-0 trophy now, Scotland. Jerome here said Grealish made Kane, Saka and Sterling look so much better. But Southgate takes him out after 65 minutes. The man is tactically inept. To be fair, I think he did that because I think Jack Grealish is walking into the next team. I think Southgate realized what he did. What I love, though, about the front four that we played tonight was the fact that we look balanced. Phil Foden, Mason Mount, to name 2, are going to should struggle to get back into this team. We should be rewarding places on meritocracy. We should be rewarding it on performances. And tonight we certainly saw that. We were inspired by the running, the dribbling, the directness on the ball from Saka. Tremendous, 19 years of age. And of course, Jack Grealish with the ability to go left, go right, play through the middle, the touch. For me right now, probably barring Messi, best touch in world football. Just in terms of first touch, it's just the best. And the balance that they provide, the goal scorers in Raheem Sterling and Harry Kane. And we're not a very attacking team, England. We are pragmatic. And that's how we're approaching this tournament. We're not opening up. We're not all guns blazing in games. We have to learn when to turn it on. At times, we didn't do that well enough against Scotland. But look, I don't think taking him off after 65 minutes was a problem for me, because in a few short days' time, we're going to have a game. We're going to have another big game. It's going to be at Wembley because we've won our group, and it's going to be against Portugal, France, or Germany. So we need our players fresh. That young energy from Saka was key. Kane, 90 minutes, thumbs down. I think he kept Kane on to try and get him a goal, if I'm being honest. It didn't quite happen for him. But yeah, that youthful exuberance from Saka was amazing. He was tremendous tonight. He really, really was. Make sure you're hitting that like button, please, ladies and gentlemen. Get that done right about now. Give it a smash. Saka haters in tears is what Trix19 has got to say. Well, this is the thing I would say. Everyone's criticizing Southgate again and again and again and again and again. And of course, there's a reason to criticize certain things. But the whole starting lineup thing, I sometimes fall into this trap of moaning about it, but we should really wait to see the proof in the pudding, what the yield is, before we judge. Because Saka would not have been picked tonight if England fans had their way, and he was tremendous. Now, I want to see Jadon Sancho. I think he's sublime. But if a manager makes a decision and you perform well and you win the game, that in itself is vindication. Because no true England fan would play that game again and change the starting lineup and risk the win. And then Maguire starting tonight. Some people said it was risky. Paid dividends. I thought Jordan Henderson coming on was one of the reasons we went a little bit flat in the second half. He did look really out of shape. Unlucky not to get his goal, but he was offside. Jerome here says, Jack Grealish, man of the match. That's the first guess we've had for man of the match tonight. Saka will be Terry's man of the match tonight. Rightfully so, is what Hunter believes. Get your super chats in to guess man of the match right now, ladies and gentlemen. Panel coming on in a few minutes' time. KJ, Kesh, Jem backstage. I think a few more people, but I think Neeks will be on his way very, very soon as well to have his say. Dinesh here says, don't understand why Saka is getting critiqued when he did nothing wrong. Saka shouldn't be getting critiqued. He was excellent. Of course. Was it the greatest ever performance in an England shirt by an England player? No, it wasn't. But he was very good. Dribbling wise today, excellent. 5 dribbles completed in the game today. He may not have had any key passes in terms of the guy that created the chances, but that goal doesn't happen without his direct running. And that's the one thing. Phil Foden is technically a sensational football player. But listen to Wayne Rooney's analysis. It was spot on in the week. Foden is effective in a pass and move team. England are not a pass and move team. It's not how they're drilled to play. We need individuals like Grealish and like Saka, very much like Sancho. He needs to play more, that take men on, that are more dribblers than passers. And we saw tonight we opened up the Czech Republic. Should have scored a couple of goals in that first half and really put it to bed. But I hear where you're coming from. But there should be no criticism at all of Saka on that. Grey Wolf Dinner says Grealish was average. Don't get the hype. Not world class. It's an interesting take from me. Set up a goal, created space, some of his touches, some of his passing, some of his movement. What he also does, now this is why he is world class in my opinion. But to prove to people he's world class, I think he needs to go to a better team, a bigger team. He's like the light that attracts the moths. When he's got that ball, he drags people in. If you have 2 or 3 people double up on him, what does that mean? There's space elsewhere. All we need to do at England is move the ball a little bit faster. And the fullbacks need to push on. And this is something I heard Gary Neville talk about earlier. Again, education is key. Listen to professionals before anything else. He spoke about how the ball needs to move faster from defence into the midfield. That enables the overlapping runs from fullbacks. Without it, they have to stay back. The ball isn't moving quickly. There isn't the space generated by people being sucked in for the overlapping runs as easy, right? Unless the team's completely out of shape. Tonight, we saw that. We need more of it. Jack Grealish enables that to happen. Quick, fast thinking. Do you agree with Grey Wolf Dinner, though? Is he overhyped? Give us your thoughts and opinions, people. Daniel's now backstage with us as well. You're going to get France, Germany, or Portugal. Yeah, and I say bring it on. Bring it on. Let me just say this now as a proud Englishman. I'm talking here, but not talking about my country in general. I'm not getting into that. I'm talking about my football team. I'm proud of these boys. I'm proud of everything about this setup in England, what they represent, the political stances they take in this world, the behavior of the vast majority of them on and off the field. These are some amazing human beings, and they represent my country and make me so very, very proud each and every single time I see them play. They're a reflection of what I believe is the best part of my country as well. And if you need me to explain, that should not need explaining what I mean by that. So I'm very, very proud. From a footballing sense, we've got to play the best at some point. Let's do it now. Let's get it out the way. Let's get it done. And for me, are France better than us? Yes. Are Germany better than us? Yes. Are Portugal better than us? Yeah. Have they all done better in international tournaments in the last 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, better than England? Yes. But am I scared of them? No. We can beat them. We can beat them. And if we can't, then we go home, but we've been beaten by the best teams in the tournament. If we get, I don't even know if we can get them. If Slovakia in the next round, we get ridiculed just for getting them in the draw. So give us the best teams. Let's see how we do. Let's sing our hearts out for the national anthem. Let's cheer the boys on because it's coming home. That's all I'm saying. It's coming home. We're at the group stages now. I'm saying it. It's coming home. That will trigger a few Anglophobes. No matter what or how well we can do, Southgate will never win. It's one of them ones. And maybe you're right, Paul. You could be absolutely bang on. Maybe he never will. But he's gone for an approach which is pragmatic at this tournament. He's gone for an approach which is to be defensively strong first. 3 games, 3 clean sheets. We do need to score more goals. I'm not denying it. Do I think that makes us winners of this tournament? No, it doesn't. But let's see what happens now. Group stages are over and the knockouts begin, because knockout football is anybody's game. And we do have an advantage. Barring the quarterfinals, if God willing we make them, we're at home for every single match. And for the semi-finals and finals, if by chance we're there, 75% capacity. Barely any travel internationally. England will have some advantages there. Do I think we're going to win it? No. Do I pray and hope and am I going to sing my heart out and shout and put all my positive energy towards us doing it? Of course I am. Why would I want my country to lose? That'd be a madness, bruv. Michael here says, Terry, the ball will not move fast with rubbish Kane in the team. Anyway, rubbish Kane for man of the match is what Michael has said there. I can tell you all now, don't waste any super chats. I'm definitely not voting Harry Kane as my man of the match. So don't anyone else super chat that in, bruv. Like, that'd be a waste. Use someone else. It ain't Terry, mate. It's coming to France. And it could be, bro. And that's it. I mean, theoretically, it's coming home was sung about a tournament coming home. So theoretically it is because the finals in England. But you know what I mean? It's all good, bro. Henderson did well in the second half. I don't know. I don't know about that. Saka equals Jolof Milner from Wish Stop overhyping him. Oh, from wish.com, you mean? All right, I get you. Listen, he was excellent tonight. And he's had an excellent season, Saka. I don't understand what let me ask you this question, Santana Man. Great band. I like them. Anyway, we digress. What more would you want? What did Saka not do that you would want him to deliver that would make you praise him? I'm very intrigued to know. Enigma here says Saka is information sponge, a coach's dream. Well, this is how good a footballer, Saka is. Drop your club allegiances for a minute. This is how good a footballer he is. He can play right wing, left wing, right back, full back. I've even seen him go centrally. No one even knows what his best position is, really. I think it's right-hand side of the attack, but he can play all those positions comfortably and well. Name me another player that can do that. Name me 5 players that can do that at Premier League level, can go left back, left wing, right wing, and perform exceptionally well in every single position. And by the way, I'm sorry, I know Keshi's backstage, but in a dead Arsenal team. Do you know what I'm saying? He's doing that for a bad... He ain't doing it for Pete Wenger in 1998. He ain't doing it for a Fergie. He ain't doing it for a Pete Pep. He's doing it for Mikel Arteta and Arsenal. Come on, man. I'm a Man United fan, but I can recognize brilliance in the making when I see it. Make sure that like button is being hit, people. What are we sitting on? 1,500 people watching. Come on, man. Get that like up right about now. Whenever Chelsea win on this channel, we go past 1,000 likes within 10 minutes. Hit it for these ones as well, please. Grey Wolf Dinner here says, Saka, man of the match, must play the next game. Foden the worst player? Well, that's very much what our debate's going to be about when I bring the panel on. Just waiting for Neeks to arrive. When he gets here, we'll bring him straight in. And that's going to be the debate. I want you to stay around for it. We're debating who, from today's starting 11, should start the game against, I'm just going to say it's against France right now. I think that's who we're going to get. I think we're going to end up getting France. We do play the winners of that group, right? Am I right? Everyone backstage? Am I right? Yeah, it's France. France is going to beat Portugal. It's going to happen. You never quite know, though. You never know. Maybe there's going to be a Bruno Fernandes magic. No, there won't be. He's had a stinker. Jerome here with another super chat says, puts all the club rivalry away and gives Saka and Grealish their well-deserved praise. They were sublime today. Absolutely. They truly, truly were. They truly were. Another member chat here says Saka and Grealish won't play the next game once Foden and Mount are back. And that's an interesting take. I'm sure we're going to get into that in a few moments' time. Why UFC says Sterling needs to be respected more. Needs to be respected more. He's England's top goal scorer, so people need to put some respect on his name. Again, everybody wrote him off. Everybody slagged off his inclusion today, and he's a goal scorer. Goal scorers need to have chances created for them invariably. There are a finite, small amount of attackers in this world that have the ability to consistently create their own chances. He may not be one of them. So create opportunities and he scores. And there was that little moment tonight. I know Harry Kane should have shot, by the way. Has to shoot from there. Any striker that's passing that, I worry about them. But it was almost Croatia 2.0. Could have squared it. Sterling could have got a brace there. And I am gutted, to be fair, because I took all the England players out of my fantasy team because I was so annoyed after the Scotland game. I did that out of pure spite. Why not start Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I don't know. There's no way, Paul, they're going to do that for the last 16 game now. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, just absolutely no chance of that happening, my friend. Thank you, Paul Rosper, for becoming an official member of the Football Terrace. That means a great deal to us, buddy. Thank you. Thank you for becoming an Academy member. Got to be Sterling, Grealish, Saka, Kane in the next game. Portugal and France will draw. Pogba and Kante, even Sissoko and Luis will slap us. Maybe. I actually want France. I really want to get France. I want to get France. Do you know why? There's no embarrassment. Do you know what I mean? There's no embarrassment. It's like, my girlfriend left me. Oh, who for? If you like Brad Pitt, maybe that's a bit old now. I'm thinking my era. It's like Brad Pitt took your girl. Don't worry about it, brother. It's Brad Pitt. Do you know what I mean? It's not like some scrote with a receding hairline did it. Do you know what I mean? I don't know. Some bum with no job lives in his mum and dad's basement. Hasn't seen the light for a while. Like, imagine that. That's what I don't want to get knocked out by a scrub. Let's play the best. If we win, heroes. If we lose, it's expected. So it's win-win from my point of view. We're going to bring the panel on in a few moments' time. Jerome here says England are top of the group, therefore they should play second of Group F, isn't it? No, it doesn't work like that. It's not fair. I'm going to cry about it. I'm going to have a little old moan on socials. We got second place, not first. Now, England won the group, bruv. I have no idea what you talk. We definitely won the group tonight. Unless I'm dumb. We definitely won the group. We 100% won the group tonight. Champions of the group stage. It's a joke. Do you know why I like doing that? All the people that hate England, they all say, "Oh, what do you mean? There's no trophy for it." I know. Right, let's get this panel on, ladies and gentlemen. Who we got here? KJ's here. Kesh is here. Jem is here. Neeks is here. Daniel's here. Afternoon, gents. Coming home. Evening, gents. Is coming home.
Not coming nowhere near home. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, Jem's going home. Turkey. Goodbye. Bye. Bye, guys, mate.
Mahaba.
No Turkish talk here, right? It's England, right?
Yeah, I feel for you. And them man disgraced you on a different kind of level, bro.
KJ, England. They're not it's England, right?
I hear that. KJ, what did you make of England's performance overall tonight?
First half was good. It was encouraging. It was beautiful to see a player or two players with the ball driving at speed and with pace in Saka and Grealish. That's the thing we've been missing all of the games in the group stage. Like players wanting to run at defenders, wanting to run from midfield into their box. Saka provided that, Grealish provided that. So I was very encouraged by that. We got the goal, good goal in the end. Well played Sterling for being on the end of that, being in the right place, right time. But after that, the second half, it was Gareth Southgate special. You know what I mean? Make sure you're tight, make sure you're compact, make sure you don't do anything wrong, and just keep the scoreline the way it is. And that's why I said earlier that we'll win 1-0, because you expect that. He got the job done in the end, and England topped the group, and that's the most important thing, to be fair. There's nothing really else much to say to you, to be honest.
Yeah, hang on a second. All right, okay. I mean, Egal here says Nick shouldn't be showing his face after before the tournament. In fairness, that's how I say this about Neeks. Neeks don't support England, so he can say what he wants. You know what I mean? Like he's not suddenly like beating his chest singing it's coming home. Do you know what I mean? But he was good tonight, Saka, wasn't he, Neeks?
Yeah, he was actually. I left work late, so I was underground for most of the first half, so I missed what seems like the best part of the game, which was the first half. But what I did see from Saka, yeah, he was very good, brilliant. Him and Grealish is and that type of player, should I say, more than anything, is what England's been missing in the first 2 games of the tournament. His willingness, his fearlessness, just to pick up the ball and just run and just go, and what happens. I'm not saying it's a fluke, but you just have that fearlessness to go forward, and he was willing to do that, and he had the ability to do it. A performance like this, you'd hope that Southgate puts him in the last 16, but I expect him to be back on the bench, and it's no slight on him. It's all on Southgate. You're wondering, why have we not seen this from any of the 2 players or any of the front 3 or whatever in the first 2 games? Why is Grealish and Saka and Sancho not been getting? Why have they not got runs in these games, or starts, or more minutes? Players that can do something different, something just a bit different. And I think Southgate's just a bit too safe. But it was good to see, Saka and Grealish shackles off and just going forward.
Yeah, that makes sense. I actually think I have made a mistake. I don't know why I thought this. Winners. We're in Group D, right? Yeah. So winners.
England, Group D.
Yeah. So first in Group D, plays second in Group F. So I apologize. We don't get the first team. I don't know why that was in my head. I swear, I have no idea what's in my head. So we'll get who comes second. So right now, the bookies would favor that and would say we're getting Germany, which is great.
So sorry, Terry. Can I just clarify exactly what I said before the tournament before anyone goes on? Because I see some incorrect slander in the chat. What I said was, what I asked was, what is Saka's role in this squad? I.e., if X is out, is he the first choice to replace him? So whether that be Mount, Grealish, Foden, Sancho. Now, how am I supposed to know that Gareth Southgate is not going to play England's most creative force across the whole of Europe in all but 7 minutes from the first 3 games? Because as far as I'm concerned, and credit to Saka for his performance today, but surely Sancho should be ahead of him in the pecking order. Surely. That's not on me. That's on Southgate. But credit to Saka, isn't it?
But that's a flawed argument, though. It's very flawed because you're basing it off what he's doing in Germany. Like, we've seen quality players over the years play for the international team and don't really pick up that standards that they got in league football. Like, for me, even when you look at the likes of Mount, which I rate highly, Foden, I rate him very early. These players, over the previous 2 games, was playing with the safety on. And Gareth Southgate is the definition of safety. So I think that's why he's starting those players. If you see the likes of Grealish today and Saka, they play with no fear. No matter the occasion or anything, they will use their initiative to try and make something happen for the team. And that's how that goal came about. Cool. We talk about playing 2 DMs and we say England shouldn't have to play with 2 DMs. For me, I have to give credit today to Southgate for starting Saka, because what you get with Saka is we ain't got the 2 pivot who's gonna thread those balls in between the lines and everything like that. So what you get with Saka will pick the ball up on the halfway line and he'll get us further up the pitch. That's how that goal came about, and that's where England can be at their most dangerous when they got the ball up there. Because listen, you got Kane who's very lethal up top. You got the likes of Jack Grealish, who's going to win you fouls, he's going to draw players onto him and free up space for the other players going forward.
But are you suggesting that Sancho is a safe player? Because that's what I'm saying.
No, he's not a safe player, but based on the performance that he gives for England, he does play a bit very safe for me.
Yeah, but he's England's coming into the tournament. He was England's most informed player. He's one of the best wingers in the world, not best young wingers in the world. He's one of the best wingers in the world, full stop. And yeah, people want to bring up the argument about he hasn't necessarily performed for England, but I mean, like Roy Hodgson missed the trick. He was always calling up Andros Townsend because he performed for England. Like, how long do we want to use that argument? We have one of the best wingers in the world available at our disposal, so play him. Jack Grealish, what's it called? The reason why we're calling for Jack Grealish to play is not because he performs in an England shirt. It's because he's one of the best players currently that England have, and I would argue he's our most effective. Even if people want to say Kane's still our best player, which I don't know, just because of how he's been playing in the tournament. In terms of effectiveness and someone who's able to perform for us, I think Jack Grealish is the best player that England have at their disposal. And then after that is Jadon Sancho, one of the most creative players in Europe. But the difference is when both players have got the opportunity to play for England, Grealish has performed. He's shown that he can do it in the England top. Sancho's had his chance. I'm not saying he's not one of England's best players. He is one of the best English players based on stats and everything. But he doesn't put those performances in the England top. The Sancho had his chance thing. I don't subscribe to that as well, because let's cast our minds back to when the last time Sancho did play for England. That was ages ago. And like we can't use what's it called, the sample size of his last couple performances for England when that was time ago, literally. He's got injured like twice.
People say he doesn't perform for England, but he gets goals, he gets assists. So what more does he have to do to show that he's good enough for England?
Southgate doesn't pick players on form. Let's just be serious. He doesn't, because if he did, he would be picking Sancho, wouldn't he? So at the end of the day,
so I don't often defend Southgate, but I think there's two things you've got to look at here. One, what's the style of football we're playing? We all spoke about it the other day. What's the point of playing Jordan? Hang on a second. No, but we know what style of football he's playing. We're playing pragmatically. What? We all know that, right?
That's pragmatic. What you watched there, you calling that pragmatic football? How we played
in the second half? That's 100% pragmatic football.
Did you see how the Czech Republic could have scored? Couple of chances.
Pragmatically, we were not gun ho, all guns blazing, trying to score goals in that game. Were we? We were playing.
No, we wasn't. But why not? When you look at the players we've got on the pitch, it doesn't make sense.
No, let me just finish. Doesn't matter why. That's how we're playing. Who plays like that at club level? Sancho or Saka?
Saka.
So doesn't it make more sense to play players? So we all spoke about Jordan Henderson the other day. We all said, don't put him in a ball holding midfield role. Play him in a workhorse role, because that's what he does for Liverpool, and he's great at it, right? Whenever he's been given a role in England, but he's got to be the pinpoint passer in the middle, he's flopped because that's not what he's good at doing. So I think there's that element, and equally, we shouldn't just pick our best players because of what they do at club level. The greatest striker I've ever seen at international tournaments is a German called Miroslav Klose. Never scored over 20 league goals once in his career, and was an average club level player in my opinion. But yet for Germany, the guy was a demon. So I'm not saying that by the way, I'm not comparing Saka to Miroslav Klose, that was an absolute demon at these tournaments, but him and like what was his name? Podolski, they were like, scintillating for Germany, but at club level, I thought they were bang average, really. So I look at Saka and think to myself, today, I felt our attack was really, really balanced. And as much as I want to see Rashford, and I want to see Sancho, and I want to see Foden get game time, today looked the most cohesive we looked as a unit. So I can't look at it and say we should change that just because Sancho's had a better season at club level and because Phil Foden is playing at a higher level than say Saka.
I agree. Sorry, Nick. I agree with that, but I feel like what happens is people use Sancho not starting as a way to attack him and say he's not. How good is he really? He's not that good. Like, and that's my issue. Like, I don't think anyone's got an issue with Saka starting. That's not the issue here. You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Okay.
What's the issue exactly? Is it go on?
The issue isn't Saka, but I have an issue with him starting because the point that I'm trying to make is, as much as I understand what Terry's trying to say, and probably like we all agree, yeah, fair enough, cool. England are playing pragmatic football and da-di-da. That's the issue. England are playing pragmatic football and playing in a way that they shouldn't be playing in. That I'm saying the issue starts, or what's it called? The fish rots from the head. Southgate is the problem, and we shouldn't be playing with. I literally said it, and tell me a team that Sancho wouldn't start for. It's not about that. Let's not get semantical about it and start saying or justifying the reason why someone like Saka is starting in this system. Create a system where your most creative player,
your best players are effective.
This performance today for me was overweighed by individual performances by certain individuals. Maguire, Saka, Grealish. For me, other than that, that wasn't a good enough performance to go into the round of 16 to play against Portugal, France, or Germany and convincingly beat them. We will lose 2-3-0 if we play like we did today against them teams in the next round. And it is all on Southgate. And I just don't understand what it is we're doing or what system he's playing. I don't get it. When I watch him, I'm like, what is it we're doing? There's no understanding for me when I watch him.
Some of the blame do go towards Southgate, but I don't think it's totally down to. I do feel some of these players are actually hiding. They're not turning up. They're not trying to do they're not believing in their own ability. Honestly, they could do a lot more.
I agree.
So we need to stop looking at the manager and thinking it's all totally down to him.
Yeah, no, I don't think it's all totally down to him, but systems are a platform for players to be individually brilliant. Exactly. That's what I believe.
Yeah.
So when you're even sparse of individual brilliance, then you've got to look at the system that's there as their base and be like, right, why aren't we seeing X player, this player, that player playing a certain way and getting the best out of them? And from when you start questioning that, you have to go to the man that sets them up.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't think Harry Kane's hiding. I don't think Harry Kane's hiding because he's trying.
He isn't. But why can't we get the best out of him? Why can't we get him involved in the last 3 games? Why has he not had chances created for him?
Yeah, but I also did today. I think a lot of that's Harry. I don't think Harry. I disagree with a lot of what I heard from pundits this week, where they spoke about we've got to create more for him and everything else. I do agree with that to a certain extent. In those first 2 games, his approach play was poor. His first touch was the amount of times the ball got kicked into him and he lost possession in build-up and approach play and positional attacks. It made me think, well, you can't blame others for him losing the ball in those areas. I thought he was a lot better at that today in terms of his general play. But remember, this is the same manager in the same system that made him top goal scorer at the last World Cup, and we weren't happy with that either because he weren't scoring against the right team. So I think it's just
but Terry, we have to put content. And again, a golden boot is a golden boot is a golden boot, and I would never take that golden boot away from Harry Kane. No one can take it away from him. You've got to work on golden boot, but.
Who are the teams?
Playing it's not about the teams. Forget that. Playing in the way that he played, that England played, and the way that he scored his goals, is that something that is repeatable? He scored like 3 penalties, or maybe it might be 2, and a goal that flicked off his heel from a shot from I don't know who it was. That's a strike you take what you get.
We created chances though. We created chances. We were so dominant. We got a lot of fouls. We were so good at our set pieces. People dragging us to the floor. Like, we kind of deserve them, but I don't think. Go on, mate.
The problem I've got with Kane, it's not as if he's getting the basics right. He's not getting the basics right. There's times where his touch is all over the gaff. There's times where the ball's going into the right area, and those areas is where he dominates the Tottenham. Those areas where he gets the goal. There's one ball where Saka puts in there, and you think, Harry Kane for Tottenham, he scores there. He gets in front of his defenders, but he's hanging off the back of his defender and the last man. I generally don't think Kane's mind is right at this tournament right now. I generally don't think. I've been saying it from the start of this tournament. From the first game, his head is somewhere else.
He looks jaded. No, he looks jaded right? Because I saw him. There was 2 passes I can remember. One was from. Who was it from now? There's 2 passes where they played it into him, And if anyone was a little bit quicker, like Jordan Henderson's one of them, that nice little chip ball he played through and he was through on goal. And I think another one's Luke Shaw and the player just beating to it. If he was sharper and quicker, he reaches those balls. The balls weren't bad. It was him. He looks tired. He looks slow. He looks languid. Yeah. And the issue is like, can we take that into the round of 16, the quarterfinals, when you need to be sharp, where you need to be quick, where you need to be on the ball?
You know, the thing is, if England had a better manager, then you might say, you know what, let's find a way to win this game without Kane. Mm-hmm. Let's go false nine, Sterling, false nine, or Foden. Yeah. But they don't. They got Gareth Southgate, and he has to rely on Kane to start scoring. But also Kane has to rely on him to get chances to score goals. It's a very sticky situation because once I get to Daniel, because on this form, I agree Kane should not be starting, but he's England's only hope.
Yeah, but he's not though, is he? Because Sterling's clearly the one doing it, bro. Sterling ain't winning England the Euros. I'm telling you. But neither is Harry Kane, my brother.
Okay, so guys, listen, we're going to go into that because we're going to pick the team in a few moments. And I hear a lot of what people are saying. I also think if we had a more fashionable manager that was playing pragmatic football, maybe if he was German, maybe if he had a bit of a receding hairline like me, maybe if he had blonde hair, you know, maybe if his name was Thomas and he was playing this exact same way, we'd all have a lot more faith. Because do you know what?
Because I've got an agenda against a certain man called Santos, bro, and he ain't English.
I like that. What I do find interesting about like some of the Chelsea fans' reactions, like you don't win tournaments playing pragmatically. Do you not? I don't know.
No, don't do that. No, I know. But I still need to throw it in there that the difference is that of course England are winning, but let me just say that I understand now how Ollie Outers feel. I fully understand how they feel. I'm not even joking, because at the end of the day, I even say unfortunately because I'm in a situation where I don't really like how the team's playing. But I support England, but I don't like the manager. I don't want him there. I think a lot of people do a better job to get the best out of this team. I think England are capable of performing at the Euros and even getting to a final if we had a better manager. And the problem I have with Southgate is I just don't believe in him. And how many times have I said, Terry, that teams represent the personality of their managers?
I totally agree. I totally agree. And I totally agree. And I was being very flippant when I said that. The difference when I watch, say, a Thomas Tuchel team when you're playing is the zip in the pass and the movement of the players. And that's what we haven't got in this England team yet. And maybe it's a belief thing and something along those lines. There's no doubt about it. But what we're going to do now, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of pick. We're going to go through tonight's starting lineup, and then the panel are going to decide whether they're going to start or whether they should be benched for the last 16 game, which is highly likely to be against either Portugal or Germany. Maybe Hungary. You never know. There could be a big shock. And we'll see what goes on there. But do us a massive favor. If you're watching on YouTube, please please share and make sure you subscribe and make sure you hit that like button. Biggest audience we've had so far over on Twitch. So welcome to everyone that's new to watching us on Twitch. Make sure you hit that follow button right now over there. We stream 2 or 3 times a day on Twitch. Get following the Football Terrace over there. Lots of you new names of people I've never seen before, like TTV Supreme. You are reading that? Fleabag Monkey Face. That's an interesting username. How you doing, buddy? Hope you're good. A few names I just can't. I'm dyslexic, so I can't read it out because it's a mumbo jumbo of letters. I don't know if that's a real word or a fake one. My brain has no idea whatsoever. Potchy Head. Hello to you. Hope you're very, very well. Make sure you're following the Football Terrace over there. With lots of O's. Again, that is a dyslexic's nightmare. Like some of the usernames online are my worst nightmare because my brain just goes, nah, bro. It's as simple as that. It ain't working. Right. So let's start with tonight's team. Yes, Jason, what you say? I'm saying hello to you. Look, we can put your comments up on the screen, by the way, Twitch followers. All the YouTubers know about this already.
Oh, is that a horse?
There it's at. Yes, that's you, Julian. Put your comment up as well, my guy. I need to check out, make sure none of these usernames are a bit strict. Like sometimes you get a strange username that might read something naughty. And I don't want to put anything
like Jenna and that, you know what I'm saying?
There we go. Anyway, who else is here? Oh, you want me to say hello now? Hello to
Yeah,
Hudstar. Hope you're good. What's up? Just followed this. I'm glad you just followed it. We are. If you're new to this, then I can just say this because you won't know. We are the biggest YouTube channel in the world. We're the biggest, we're the best, but we're actually the most inclusive. And I'm not talking about anything other than we actually let fans speak here. So make sure you follow the Football Terrace. Get yourselves involved. We're now debating who should start the last 60. I would always get one. Yawn. But then you say, big up the terrace. I don't know. Thank you. Thank you very much. It was a joke about being the biggest, by the way. Whatever you can do. I know you can kind of super chat and stuff over on Twitch. Get that done. Subscribe to us over there and all that mumbo jumbo. Hope you're all good. Wagwan. What's going? There we go. What's going on with you? Right. So let's start with the first position. This is going to be a real easy one. We all want to stick with Pickford, right?
Wait. Can we set the formation? Considering who England will be playing.
We ain't got any other options.
You're going to go 4-2-3-1, aren't we?
Yeah. We have to
if England playing Germany, it has to be three at the back because Kimmich and Gosens are going to kill England. I'll tell you that right.
Kill us.
So and maybe if they play Portugal, they might take a little light from Germany and say, let's go for the 3-4.
You believe Southgate is intuitive enough to do that?
No, he likes 3-4-3.
He likes it.
We're actually surprised he's playing 4 at the back in this tournament. He likes 3-4-3.
No, okay. So are we choosing 3 at the back or are we doing with the 4?
Let's just do 4-2-3-1.
That's what he's been doing anyway.
We'll keep it 4-2-3-1 for now. And listen, if you're super chatting, get your super chats in. Tell us who you think should be in there as well. You can still guess my man of the match tonight. No one's guessed. No. So one person has guessed it thus far. So keep the guesses coming in, please, with those super chats to go in. Everyone who guesses it right goes into the prize draw for a shirt of their choice. We have tweeted out photos of the shirts that have arrived just to prove that they come. I know we used to have a moderator that said they never got their shirt. Lies. I actually showed all these guys in the group chat the receipt, bruv. Do you know what I mean? Like, I was serious about it and the address, but I'm not sharing that publicly. That's against them rules. Right, Pickford, he's standing goal, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
England's best player.
There's no debate. I'm sorry.
So I don't think there's a debate of right back either. Carl Walker standing?
No, Reece James.
bro. No.
Reece James.
No.
Kyle Walker.
Kyle Walker is terrible, bro. Listen.
Terrible.
Listen. This brother's just been in here for recovery pace, my friends. Fam. That's all he's there for. Literally, man. On the ball, he's been so poor. He's been
I love Reece James.
KJ.
No, but on the ball, yeah, he's been so poor. And offensively, what does he offer? Nothing.
What is the argument to not play Reece James against Kyle Walker? What is the difference?
Reece James is a bit safe, isn't it? Like he was, and he doesn't unless he has a manager to push him, which Tuchel has done in games. You've seen him literally tell him, "Bro, you need to attack. Like, stop staying back." I don't think he's gonna like England. He needs to take responsibility for himself, and without the manager's input. And we're in a situation where.
So what was he doing against Scotland? That was crap then.
No,
I didn't say it was crap, but I said it was safe. Like he was calm. He was okay, but. Yeah,
but all his buts, but no answers, bro. Like,
no.
No, I said Reece James was safe against Scotland, but we needed more from our fullbacks. We needed more.
What? But he offers more than
I don't get that.
Walker.
No, I agree with Daniel. I agree.
Kyle Walker's more threatening. I know he hasn't shown it yet, but he's still more threatening than Reece James.
Listen, he got forward once and had so much time to put in a cross, and he hit the first man. Man, literally, Phillips played the ball back to him. Man tried to do a spin on the edge of the byline, bro, and he went out. What is this guy doing?
Dan,
Guys, one at a time, please. So, Dan, why would you not go with what KJ's saying?
Basically, what I'm disagreeing with KJ is the fact that he's saying that Kyle Walker is only there for recovery pace, but that we've been knowing this. And that is a big thing for me. I think that's good. That's actually a positive in his corner. The fact that he can recover. We're going up against the likes of possibly Mbappe and some of the. Kyle Walker's one of the best guys for the job. And I think the Reece James thing. I know people don't like to hear it, but that's where experience, the excuse Southgate has been using, helps him in his corner. I'd play with Kyle Walker going forward in the latter stages of this tournament. He's got more. He's much more experience.
I think what's also important is I think when we get to the right-hand side of the attack, we're probably either going to vote for Saka or for Sancho. Do you not want experience behind that young player?
That's the experience part. That's a fair argument, but I feel like Kyle Walker's been getting away with things on the ball that I feel like like if that was against a bigger team, we get punished for him doing that.
I think,
and I feel like Reece James has not put a foot wrong for him to say no, we can't play.
I think Reece James offers more in the final third, especially from his delivery. When you think about what Trent gives to this team when he's in the team, and I'm talking about being able to deliver a ball precisely in the box for someone like Harry Kane or whoever's in the middle, then I think Reece James is as close as to Trent in terms of delivery in the box. Then I think he's a better deliverer than Walker. I think Walker's good with his pace and his recovery. Yeah, I get that, and the experience, I understand. But I think Reece James offers more once he's further up the pitch, supporting.
I want to ask Neeks a question here. Neeks, is there an argument? A lot of people in the comments are saying Kieran Trippier. Is there an argument for him to start?
No, only in a back five, and even then, you probably go with Reece James because of the pace. If you had Reece James and Kyle Walker as the right wing back and right centre back, then you completely lock it down. I think Kyle Walker for me is the best right back in the squad. So if you're going to play right back, you play Kyle Walker. I think he's got the pace to deal with the threats in behind, and I think he's good enough going forward. He ain't great. I think James definitely got a better delivery. Trippier's definitely got a better delivery, but you're coming to the business end of the tournament. You need your defenders to defend, and I think he's good enough defensively.
Okay, so we'll do the vote on this now. Who's going with Walker? 1, 2, 3. That's 3. That's 3 of the 5. I'm not having a vote on any of this. There's going to be Kyle Walker in there. John Stones staying in the team.
Yeah, he's been solid.
Yep. I think that's cool. So
You know what?
Because not now, Neeks.
No. Are we all putting Maguire in?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because who is a better partnership in terms of the attributes they offer? Before I would have said John Stones originally, but when I was talking to someone on Twitter, forward actually, Terry knows him, been on the channel before, and the attributes that Tyrone Mings offers and how well he's played in the tournament so far, would that be more complimentary to Maguire?
But Neeks,
I don't know.
Surely you want more experience at the back. Tyrone Mings has barely got any experience, whereas John Stones has been to World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
He's done well. He hasn't put a foot wrong in the tournament. So why would he not play? Because he's got experience.
No, I didn't say not to play him, you know. I was putting a suggestion out there. But who would you say has been a better centre back this tournament? Mings or Stones?
Stones.
Mings. Yeah,
Mings.
You play Stones. You play Stones.
No, that's not what I'm asking. That's what I'm asking. Who's been the best player this tournament?
Like Tyrone Mings has played well, but against bigger teams and all his shenanigans that he goes up to,
that was the point I made. I said he's got a mistake in him. He's got a mistake in him.
They all had.
Sorry, KJ.
No, obviously no Neeks. I'm just making sure, innit? Because obviously I thought experience trumps everything.
I'm just asking a question.
I'm just giving you an answer.
I understand what you're saying, but when I see Mings defending or on the ball, I think he lacks composure, man. He scares me. I can't even lie to you.
Yeah, I hear that.
Yeah, he scares me massively. I know Conroy and Egal want to come on. We will bring you on once the team's picked later. We'll bring some more callers in. So I know Conroy's backstage.
Egal just wants to go at me for
come on later. We're picking the team now, Egal. We'll get you on in a bit, my brother. No problem at all. So who we voted? So we're all picking Maguire. I thought that was going to be the one we actually debated. Yeah. I think every Englishman in the world and Neeks knows that knows that Maguire is the best centre back in England now. English centre back in England. I've got to be very specific because people will cry, which is great. So who are we voting for? Ming, put your hand up for Mings. So that's it.
No, I'm joking.
Yeah, Stones and Maguire. Left back. I want to go to Kesh first on this one. Has Luke Shaw done enough in these last 2 games to keep his place?
I think he's done all right, I think he's done all right. It all depends on who's in front of him, really. Like, you need someone who's going to kind of like pull the fullback away, and so Shaw can go up 1v1, because he does have a good cross on him. He does whip one in where defenders it's a bit challenging for them to clear it. So, and he drives forward. You can't doubt him for what he brings to the England team. Like Chilwell, maybe we can see a bit more of Chilwell, but I'm not really convinced by Chilwell. I know the Chelsea boys here, but,
Yeah, I mean,
I haven't got a problem with him.
Yeah, I mean, Chilwell's not kicked a ball yet, Jem. Is there an argument for him to come into the team after not playing a game yet?
I think so. I think Luke Shaw is a better left centre back in a 3 than he is in a back 4. That's my personal opinion. I don't think Luke Shaw is a better left back than Chilwell. I think if the opportunity arises and Chilwell's on the bench, I don't think Southgate's going to pick him, by the way. I think Southgate will pick Shaw, and I think Shaw's had a great season for Man United. But I don't know. Sometimes I watch Shaw and I just feel like he could offer a bit more.
You got Jose in your head, bro. That's what
a bit more. Like, literally, bro. Do you not see that chest control that he did after that long ball? What is Ben Chilwell doing that? I don't think he is.
I think defensively he can be got at. I think he really can be got at defensively, and I think Chilwell.
But if you're saying that about Chilwell,
let's relax.
No. All I'm saying is this year, Chilwell has not kicked the ball all tournament. There is no reason for him to come in over Shaw just because his name is Chilwell. It makes no sense.
Let me say
neither is Sancho.
Hang on, guys, 1 second. Go on. Sorry, go on, Daniel.
I was just gonna say, look, Shaw, should start just because Chilwell hasn't played, but Shaw hasn't shown the form that got him into the team. Let's call a spade a spade. He hasn't been Man United Shaw. He hasn't been confident in going forward. He hasn't been an outlet at left back. Like, let's not start saying chest control is why he's getting into the team. That's not why he's in the team. And Shaw hasn't been great, but I'd play Shawwell. Shawwell.
Shawwell.
I try to sneak Chilwell in there. I see you.
I play Shawwell because he's played, and Chilwell obviously hasn't played in the group stages.
Yeah,
Daniel, you about to say something.
The first game there, Trippier played out of position. Nobody wanted him back in that role.
No.
So we're all going with Luke Shaw. We think should start the next game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I thought he did well tonight, to be fair. And Raheem Sterling would have had an assist in the opening 4 minutes if Raheem Sterling shooting boots were on, and Maguire would have had an assist if Kane was there. By the way, I have to just say I saw Gal Platt trending, right, and I knew straight away why. You want to know who Gal Platt is?
Mm-hmm.
Gal Platt is like one of the most famous characters from Coronation Street because she does look like Luka Modric. And
yeah.
I was like, oh, what's happened to Gal Platt in Corrie? Luka Modric scored. Sometimes when you just read, sometimes don't click on why. I just love seeing what's trending, right? Top 3 trends in England right now, right? Top 4 trends are Tomorrow Belongs to Me, Strong Britain, Gal Platt, and Hitler Youth. I just mad. What a combination of things to be trending.
Wait, is Hitler Youth that little boy that I keep seeing? It's not that. There's a meme that I keep seeing.
Hitler Youth thing I saw trending the other day was Richard Madley he was on Good Morning Britain. He used to be Richard, the other half of Richard and Judy.
Oh, okay.
And I can't really share it live because it's copyrightable, but it is the funniest thing. It's so Alan Partridge. He basically, I think he was defending Shamina Begum.
Oh.
and he said something like someone sent in like someone sent in a text basically saying how she should never be allowed in, blah blah blah, blah back in, all this sort of stuff. And he come out with this thing, and he basically said like after World War II, we hung and killed a lot of the Nazi leaders, like a lot of the adults. He went, but we never went after the Hitler Youth. And like his follow-up line was, isn't it? It's amazing, really, that back then we didn't kill kids. And it's like, yeah, of course we didn't. It was funny the way he says it. It's like, well, of course we didn't. execute children. I had no idea why he was bringing it up, how he connected the two. I think that's why it's trending again. Somebody may have reshared it. The geezer's an absolute ledge anyway. And if anyone's wondering why people say Gal Platt looks like, I've got to put this picture up because this is actually this is the best comparison of the two. They do look very, very alike. That's they look very alike to be fair. Gal Platt. Look at that quality. Love it. Right, let's move on to midfield. Double pivot. It's going to be a double pivot. Luke Shaw, Neeks, not Luke Shaw. Jordan Henderson, Neeks. Should he be coming back into the team?
Yeah.
Oh, you know what? Just for the sake of changing that double pivot, because it can't go on. It can't.
No.
He has to change it. Just for the sake of it, I'm gonna say yes. I'm not sticking my flag into Jordan Henderson and saying, yeah, you're gonna lead England to glory, but it has to change. It has to change. So I'm gonna say yeah.
Not with Henderson, bro.
I hear you. I know what people are gonna say, that the 17-year-old kid, but I think you have to just put Henderson in there. I think you do. We spoke about Henderson at the beginning of the tournament before it started. Why are you bringing him? But this is why you brought him, isn't it? Because you get to the last 16 and you want your Gareth Southgate, your best players in the team. I think you might have to go with Henderson. I don't know for who, but you got to go with Henderson.
Nah. No. Rice and Phillips do a job in certain kind of games. We might be seeing that kind of game come up. So you probably will see it. But me personally, I'd rather one of Rice or Phillips and Mason Mount.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
And Mason Mount in there. Now, Bellingham again, Neeks, experience, isn't it? So
I bet Kesh has gone for a little Mount flavour in there. Kesh, would you change the main pivot of Phillips and Rice? And if so, who for?
I'm changing it and I'm taking Declan Rice out, honestly. For me, Jordan Henderson, I'm not his biggest fan, but I understand what he brings to the game. And we do tend to play the ball a lot more quicker when he's on the pitch. That's a fact. And he's got more ideas in his head. Like, even from being just outside the box, he's trying a little dink over the top, a little whipped cross. You're not getting that from Declan Rice and Phillips. They're playing way too safe. You need someone in there that's going to do that bit different than the other. And Jordan Henderson gives you that.
Yeah. It's an interesting one. How about yourselves, the Chelsea boys? Because obviously Declan Rice isn't, but most Chelsea fans on social media talk about Rice like he is a Chelsea boy. Would you take Rice out in the same way Kesh said? I'll go to Jem first on that.
Yes. And he's not a Chelsea player, he's a West Ham player. Do not ever say that again.
Hang on. I see the biggest Chelsea accounts always talking about him. Always, bro.
Yeah, I hope he stays as a West Ham player. For me, I don't see the fascination of him. I agree with Kesh. I think Henderson offers more. He's more progressive. He's always got an eye for a ball over the top. I think Declan Rice, when you look at him at what he's meant to be good at, sitting in front of the defence, covering them spaces, I don't think he does that well. Sometimes I think he just goes missing. And for me, he has to be removed. 100%. Take him out.
I've definitely been missing in these last 3 games where we've conceded all these goals.
No, you know what it is though, Jem. You know what it is though. It's because when you're supposed to be the dominant force, he's not as strong. But when look at West Ham, very compact, sit back and a counter. He's excellent in that system. But in these group games, we've been expected to be the team that goes on and does something more, and that's where his weaknesses come out.
Yeah, there's a super chat here for KJ that says, KJ, we would love to see Mount in there, but there's no way Southgate is going that cavalier, unfortunately. Especially, do you know what? Especially against the fact that we're going to be up against a better, whatever happens, we're up against a better team than us in the next round now. That's an absolute foregone conclusion. Absolutely. How about you? So we'll vote that through then. So we all keeping Phillips in.
I'm keeping Phillips. The thing I like about Phillips,
I think the energy. He'll go all game as well. The press.
you know what? Yeah, there's something that you just can't teach a Oldham player, and that's always known to be in and around the right area where the ball is, or the player's got the ball. He's always there, nipping at someone's ankle, and you've got to admire that.
Yeah, I agree. So he's in there. So I'll vote this in then. So who's going with Declan Rice? No one. Henderson.
Yeah.
And 3 in there, 4 in there. So Henderson and Calvin Phillips for the central midfield. Liverpool fans will be buzzing.
We didn't vote Calvin Phillips.
I said
Phillips. I just thought it's Henderson.
Okay. So who are you having next to Henderson then?
I don't know. He wanted Mount. Did you
I didn't vote.
Oh, okay.
It felt, I thought there was a majority, so I didn't vote.
No, there was a majority. I just didn't vote because I.
Oh, okay, cool. Wow, I thought I did something wrong then. Sorry, apologies, peeps. All right, let's go to the attacking side of things now. Left-hand side. Neeks. Start on the left.
All right, it's got to be Raheem Sterling. He's England's top goal scorer, England's only goal scorer. You have to. What's the other choice? Oh no, honestly, I think I've always said for me, you either play Sterling or Rashford because you need one of your front 4 to run in behind. And Kane being the main goal scorer, the only other goal scorers in the squad are Calvert-Lewin, Rashford, and Sterling. I'm not saying they're all great finishers, but they're goal scorers in terms of their mentality. Let me get into a position where I can score a goal. And I think you need 2 of them on the pitch. So obviously Kane, so I might want Calvin Phillips, but I think Sterling has to be the other potential goal threat on the pitch. So I'll go Sterling on the left.
Okay. Anyone go for anything different on the left-hand side? KJ.
Jadon Sancho.
That's nonsense, man.
Listen.
Hang on, KJ, explain that, please.
Yeah,
wait, so the left or the right?
You need to hear my whole front. You need to hear my whole front 3 for it to make sense.
Go on.
Go. Okay. You say me, not what Southgate will do. Me, KJ will do this. Jadon Sancho on the left, Bukayo Saka on the right, false 9, Raheem Sterling. That's what I personally would do.
You're missing a player.
What? And then Jack Grealish behind that.
What? You play Raheem Sterling as the false 9 in a team that does not play.
He's the only one. No, he's the only one scoring goals. His build-up play from the left-hand side has not been good. So let's bring in a player from the left who can go and carry the ball and just get Raheem Sterling in those spaces so he can finish.
We literally just spent like the first segment talking about the style of play that England play. You can't play Raheem Sterling as the false 9 when we don't play a system that.
Daniel, this is what I mean. People don't like to listen. Did I not just say if me, not Southgate?
This is who you play against France, Germany, or Portugal.
Yes.
Not Sterling up front.
Yes.
But
if we're playing against those teams, we're playing on a counter anyway. And the way that Kane is running, he's running hella stiff and slow, blood, and I don't want that.
That means you have to play ball at feet with Sterling. You can't play the ball over the top.
Yeah, you ball the feet or ball in behind on the floor.
You're having a man. You're having a man.
No. I'm just having
KJ, brother, this is not midnight vibes. This is not midnight vibes.
I've been genuinely serious. Harry Kane is not for me, not producing anything. He's not producing anything for me to be like, oh yeah, I need you starting. I'd rather, if we're gonna go play counter-attacking football, I'd rather see Sterling, Saka, and Sancho as a front 3.
The first time you want to play Sterling as the false 9 is around the 16 game against one of the best teams in international.
Yes.
That makes no sense. I'm sorry.
I don't care. I'm allowed to think for myself, no?
No, fair enough.
You are. I love it. That's an interesting one. Kesh, who you putting on that right-hand side, bro? Left-hand side. Sorry, left-hand side.
Thing is, the left-hand side, you've got to have someone who's willing to make those runs and beyond, because I don't know what's going on and why Southgate is trying to bring Tottenham vibe to England, where Kane's dropping deep. Grab your striker, for goodness sake. Get in the box. That's where your bread and butter is. And if you're gonna put Jadon Sancho there, it doesn't make sense because then who's gonna play on the right? You're gonna have no one running in behind, so everyone's just gonna be playing on the halfway line. So I think you've got to play either Sterling or Rashford. And listen, Kane's our top goal scorer. Whether we like it or not, Sterling, sorry. Whether you like it or not that he's playing great or his build-up play is not good enough, you can't just all of a sudden go and drop your main threat because that's what he is right now. So it'll be Sterling. I'm not against Sancho or Saka because I think both players got quality. And listen, for me, Kane's got to start in the last 16. But I felt today's game, you should have used the opportunity to give a different striker and see what they can produce. But now it's a bit too late. You can't just go and say, okay, last 16, let me put Dominic Cover and Lewis
DCL, go win me the tournament.
It don't make sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I have this little thought. If we get Germany, I think Sancho starts.
Yeah.
I just think it.
Not knowing Southgate.
Yeah, no. Well,
Southgate tax, man.
okay, tax maybe. But everyone go, why don't you play Sancho against the Germans? And he's like, why would I do that? Because he plays in Germany, does he? Do you know what I mean? He plays in Germany. I didn't know that. I don't know. I thought
That's why I ain't seen him nowhere.
Yeah, I wondered why I just don't see him around. He just turns up for training. I don't know. It's a tough one for me. Is anyone putting Foden in? If we look at both wide players where Foden has played, is anyone putting Foden in the starting lineup based on the first 3 games?
No.
Why are we not talking about Grealish? That's what I don't
Things
know.
I would.
Can I say something about Foden? Like I think Foden's going to be a great player for England. Hopefully not too great for Man City, but a great player for England nonetheless. I want it to be like Danny Welbeck. Great games for England, terrible for his club. No, but this is honestly pep tax.
Oh yeah.
No, and I'm not saying that. No. Listen, this is what I'm saying. I'm not saying Foden's not a talented player, but the way Manchester City play is so unique in terms of compared to the rest of world football, other than maybe Spain. That's pretty much it. Them and Spain, and even they play that ball better than Spain do. Barcelona kind of moving away from that these days. Foden plays in a way for Man City where they play in the final third of the pitch, the second and third thirds of the pitch. And his effectiveness comes from quick, sharp movements around the box, pass and move, get into areas, lay off a pass or get a quick shot off. The way that we saw Saka play today, Foden he plays like that on a daily. Terry mentioned at the top of the show in terms of teams playing on counter-attack. He plays like that on a weekly basis. Foden doesn't. Foden, who has been trying for the last 3 or 4 years to try and get into this City side, trying to learn Pep Guardiola's way of football, to then come to England and say, all right, I want you to pick the ball up from deep and run with it. Not saying he can't do it because he's done it. We saw he scored a brilliant goal. I think it might be against Brighton later on in the season. But it's just not second nature to him. In this England side, I'm not saying he's lost because I've seen good little touches. But in this England side, as it currently is, in the stage of development as a player he's nowhere near as effective in the England side as he is for Man City. I think purely based on the way that Man City play.
Can I just say that, I mean, if you flip and play Bukayo Saka centre mid when he's played as a winger or left, whatever you want to say, for a whole season, and then you suddenly play him in a different position, you can't expect the same level of performance and also in the style of play that we play. Foden hasn't played as a right winger for Man City. So even if you want to say he plays in a certain system, he's playing in a totally different position. He plays predominantly as a left winger when he's, and it's kind of like an inverted left winger or an 8. And that's where he's played for Man City. He's never played as a right winger. There's just this idea that as soon as you have a your right-footed winger or a left-footed winger, you have to be able to play on the opposite flank. It's just that there's misconceptions, in my opinion, that Sancho is a good left winger when he always plays on the right wing, and that's when he creates a large amount of his chances and he performs to his best. Look, I think the pep tax thing, I understand where it's come from. I remember someone posted that tweet into the chat and we agreed with the analysis that Foden has spent so long trying to fit into Pep's system that now he's playing in an England team where he's being asked to do something different and he can't really do it. But then again, where does it come from? In my opinion, I think the instructions and the position that he's being asked to play, you can't do it, and that comes from the manager. Foden's effectiveness is being dwindled because of the manager's instructions and the expectations.
But look at Saka. I know you said he hasn't played in those positions, but Saka in probably the space of about a month, where it goes from left back to left wing back to left wing.
Yeah, but he's more versatile.
Again, I'm not saying that whether one is better than the other, but I'm just saying, Southgate can't. He's not gonna start. Do you put Foden on the left-hand side at the expense of other players who are naturally better on that side?
Saying
that. No, you don't.
I'm not saying that. I just personally, but if we started doing our ideal teams, Foden would be starting in the 8th position for me, and we would be playing a different style of football. We'd be playing a lot like some of the bigger teams in Europe, so the Chelsea, the Man City, the Dortmunds.
And that goes to the point I made earlier on in the show about the Saka situation. I just feel with the way we're playing football, I think Saka's got more chance of performing than Foden. For years, Wayne Rooney was ridiculed for how he played for England. No surprise that he played his better football for England when he was tournaments, when he was a Everton player than when he was a Man United player. Why? Because Fergie played better football than England. A superior football like you couldn't believe. And it was almost like going back in time. Do you know what I mean? Like going from driving a supercar to one the Flintstones have got. Do you know what I mean? Using your feet and stuff. Like, it's crazy. Kicking it long. To Peter Crouch and Emil Heskey, like as if how often did Man United play long ball when Rooney was there, and he's like got to pick up them scraps. It's crazy, and I think that let's vote for these forwards, and we're going to get to the big debate about the 10 and of course the striker. So who's going with Sterling on the left? That's 4. So that's Sterling in on the left. Who's going with Sancho on the right?
Wait, is it personal opinion or Southgate?
Yeah, what we're doing is Southgate.
What would you do in the last 16?
You're picking this team based on these performances. So Sancho on the right?
Yeah, I'm playing Sancho on the right. Yeah.
Saka. Sancho's in. If I had a vote, and I'll keep myself out of this, because if I got a vote, then it becomes equal. I would have gone for Saka myself. I think he just.
I don't mind. Can I speak on Saka? Egal, listen clearly, because you're doing a lot of talking in the backstage, in the comments. I'm going with Saka purely because Sancho has played 7 out of 270 minutes. I'm not bringing a man who's played less that little minutes into a last 16 game. The same reason we're saying no DCL, maybe not the same reason because there's levels in the players, and one of the reasons we're not calling up Chilwell. Like, Sancho has played 7 minutes.
Yeah, but Nick, you know what? Yeah.
What's he going to do?
Especially with Sancho, class is permanent.
Henderson played 45
and people like Sancho come into. I don't think he needs specifically. Look what he's doing, or what he's done for Borussia Dortmund. That guy is on form. He's been on form. Why can't he just come in and play at that level?
I'm not saying he can't. You know, he might be able to, but we know you never know what's going to happen. But
is he not on borderline world class, Sancho?
We have a whole performance base from Saka to go on that he can carry into the next game. Sancho is all right. We know you haven't played for us for 5 games or whatever, ain't done nothing. But yeah, go and win the game against France. Like, I think that's a lot. If
you went with my system, we wouldn't be having this conversation because all 3 of you
your system is not happening.
Neither is what we're talking about.
The realms of possibility, I think. So the panel have voted Sancho in. Most of the audience thinks Saka should have got in. Number 10. I'm going to go to Jem first on this one. Does Mason Mount keep his position, or does Jack Grealish come in?
It's not hard, Jam.
It's not hard. It depends who we're playing. Wait, it depends who we're playing against.
1 second, just had a text in from David. David says, "Get Mount the fuck out." That's what David said.
I think they both offer something completely different, and it depends on the opposition. And I think that's the same with most of the players that we've got in our team. You know, we've got a lot of top players, but if I had to choose out the 2, I would put Grealish in. And the reason I'd put Grealish in is because I think he's probably one of the only players that when he's got the ball can attract players to him, and that creates space. And I think we missed that massively. And when Neeks was saying about having Sterling and the Rashfords in the team to play the balls over the top when there's space to run into, when there isn't that space and we're playing against teams that are sitting deep because we're losing 1-0, That's when you need a Grealish, someone that can pick the ball up and attract players to him to then open up the spaces to allow these players to run in. So that's why I think Grealish offers more in a 10 role on the ball, especially on the offensive side. But if you're talking about being 1-0 up, 2-0 up, then I'd probably play Mason Mount because Mason Mount offers that work ethic.
So you say
Whoa. Oh, sorry, go on, KJ.
So you said you pay Mount if you're 1-0 or 2-0 up. So Mount off the bench then.
Yeah. No, I agree. Yeah. I'd start with Grealish and then take him off and throw Mount on if we were to tighten things up.
How about yourself, Daniel? What would you go with?
Grealish in the 10 all day long. Like I said, my ideal lineup Mount would be in the team, but as an 8. But if you're saying there's only 1-10 or one spot available that's behind the striker, you got to play Grealish. I don't think there's any there's no need for me to debate it. It's Grealish. He's the best 10 in the team.
Yeah, I think everyone's agreeing on Grealish to start in that role. Yeah, I think and most of the audience do as well. I think tonight was brilliant. There's a comment here that says Saka does the same thing as he does at Arsenal. Plays better in a worse team. Plays Sancho, who has not played, and lose. Actually, do you know what? I love Sancho and I want him to be a Man United player desperately, but there's a part of me that agrees with that. I think Saka's got to start. I really think he's got to start in this game. Striker. Let's move on to striker. Harry Kane. He hasn't scored a goal. His touch has been off. His performances have been poor. First of all, any of you dropping him for this game? If you in,
well, we know he's going with a full.
Yeah, you're putting Sterling in, bruv.
What are you saying, Daniel? What are you saying, Daniel? You dropping him?
I have watched, and the reason why, obviously, you can't. It's hard to do it now because DCL should have played this game, and it would have been a good game for him to potentially score in, and then there would have been a real debate about who you'd start. But the reason why I would have dropped him is because I have watched tournament after tournament where the best players have been short of fitness, and the excuse has always been what they've told me is play them into the tournament. They will come good. We don't have time. We don't have time for you to be played into the tournament. He's had 3 games now, and he has not played well. And not even I know he had 2. Was it 2 chances in this game or 1? He had the Sterling one where people say he should have passed, and then I think that was the only chance he had in this game, really. And I remember anyway. But and then he's not really done anything for the last 3 games, and we're asking him to come good. It's just not gonna happen. You have to assume now Kane is not going to play well. We did it with Rooney, we did it with Beckham, we did it with I think Owen. These guys, we know they are quality players, but if they are short of fitness and they are not playing well, they are not going to perform. It just doesn't work for England. It's not going to happen.
Do you know what? I have to say, it pains me to say it, but you are spot on. I've maybe it's my age. I've seen this nearly every single tournament. Injured player or a player out of form. Our next game could be France. Our next game could be Germany. Our next game could be Portugal. It's one of those 3. That could be it. So where would you go, Ash? Would you go with give Kane another chance to perform, or throw a little bit of a curveball in it and give an out of the blue opportunity to a Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
Or Sterling.
It's a catch-22, isn't it? It's really hard.
As I said, they missed their chance of giving Calvert-Lewin a game today, so I'm going to stick with Sterling. Personally, I'm going to say
Kane.
Personally, listen, Danny Ings should have been in the squad. And I'll say it again, Danny Ings should have been in the squad. There's 3 players that went on this plane, well, not even playing, probably in England, but went to this tournament, and that's Rashford, Kane, and Ederson should never have been in the squad.
Sorry. Say that again. Kane,
Rashford, and Anderson should never have been in the squad. Rashford looks like he's not even fit.
Sorry, Kane or Maguire?
No, Kane, Anderson,
Kane should have been in the squad.
Wait, why Kane? Why Kane?
He should have been in the squad. What? Listen, he looks so.
No, but you didn't know that then. He was in good form.
No. I said it. But when the squad was named, I said Henderson shouldn't be in there, Rashford shouldn't be in there, and Kane shouldn't be in there. He shouldn't.
Well, to be fair, Henderson didn't go.
England needs to believe in these players. Like you got, I'm not saying Watkins is a great player, but come up to his scoring form, we should be bringing players based on their form. What?
That's definitely come from your Arsenal blood, doesn't it?
No, it's not coming from my Arsenal background.
It has a little bit.
Bro, on my father's grave, it's not coming from an Arsenal background. That's just me being genuine and saying bring players based on their form. Kane came off the back of a bad injury and was struggling to get back into form, and you still brought him. It's the consequences of that. That's why he's struggling.
I am backing Kesh, not because I agree with
Are
him.
you serious?
But just to the fact that you can have your own opinion and back it. So you Kesh, speak your truth.
Listen, maybe the whole on the plane thing, I would have gone with Kane, but he looks off the pace. And back to Daniel's point, we've done this so many times with England, and I agree with you as well. Rashford, he's come on. He's not looked awful, but he hasn't looked great. He had a terrible end to the season. And I feel like I'd have loved Rashford to have been. I've actually enjoyed Rashford not being heavily involved in these games because he's not faced any of the criticism. Actually, I've enjoyed him being out of the limelight.
Harry, there's one thing I need to say as well. Because there's one thing I need to say as well.
He needs an operation. And, you know, whether he should have done it himself or England should have forced him into doing it, you know, Mason Greenwood was taken out for exactly the same reason. He'd been nursing an injury for months and he was taken away. The Harry Kane one's hard, though. Jem, what are you doing? Keeping in Kane or are you replacing him for this game?
You can't. Like, he has, going into these knockout stages, he's got to play. You had your opportunity to give Dominic Calvert-Lewin the opportunity for him to show us what he's got. And I just don't think we can risk that. Harry Kane's the only out-and-out real proper goal scorer that we have, and you're going to then risk and throw Dominic Calvert-Lewin in. I'll give Harry Kane 60 minutes, and if he has a stinker like he has been the last 2-3 games, then you switch it.
Terry, can I just say something quick? Because when people don't understand what I'm saying about bringing Watkins. I'm not saying he's a great player, but look at how many players who's not great has been performing at this tournament. It's tournament football. You don't have to be the best football player. You can go to tournaments and have the greatest of campaign. That's
I don't disagree with you at all, and that's why there'll be 2 or 3 from this tournament who will get signed up by Prem clubs and flop because they're not actually that good, but they're playing above themselves, pride of their nation, and things like that, and whatnot. Where some people, I don't even know if they truly bought into international football. So I do get you on that. It's just such a. Does anybody see Southgate dropping Kane? Can anyone see him doing it?
No, not dropping Kane. But I just need to understand something here. So we're all in agreement. Most of us in agreement with what Daniel said. England did this thing where players out of form, try to play them in the form, never come into form. So there's an argument to drop Kane. But then the counterbalance,
I don't agree, but go on.
No, I said some of us here, Leaks. Again, listen.
No, I thought you were asking if all of us agree. I was just saying.
No. I said some of us do. I said some of us do. Some of us don't. Yeah. Cool. So, but then the counterbalance is you don't want to bring in Dominic Calvert-Lewin because he hasn't got any game time. So when I suggest a alternative to someone with game time who can play up front, apparently I'm mad.
It's not a striker.
Just let it go.
No. It makes sense. You're saying he's unfit should be dropped, but
because you're changing the system. You've got to keep it within realism. We're not going to suddenly create a brand new system in one game.
You ask for something different, I give you it.
It's a dream.
That's the point.
I'm not asking for that much difference, bro. Just a little bit of difference, not too much.
No, but
there we go. Harry Kane's going to start. Grealish in the 10. That's our team.
Can I just say something?
We're going to take a few calls here. We've got Conroy and we've got Egal here with us that we're going to throw in to have their say. Conroy, commiserations tonight for going out, mate. You took a pasting in the end.
I don't know, mate. I think when Modric does that, you're just like that's plenty when he does that. But no, to be honest, mate, I know it's easy to think. People are going to say Modric ran the show, and I think he did. But see, before Modric scores, about the 58th minute, Scotland makes simple chances hard. John McGinn's like 2 yards out and doesn't contact. And all jokes aside, I know it's easy to say, "Oh, Scotland this," but honestly, see the amount of times, like I was watching it with someone who doesn't really watch football, and she's like, why do they make it so difficult? Like easy chances. It just, for me, if you don't take your chances against teams, not even big teams, just international teams of that quality, you're just not going to do it. And I think overall for a total of 32, probably more than that, 32 shots, and a lot of them have been good chances as well. And if you don't take your chances, you're not going to compete. And to be fair, though, I'll give Croatia credit. I thought like Modric, I've always rated Modric. Like I always think he actually does get slept on when it comes to top midfielders. I thought, especially second half. First half, Scotland started well, conceded the goal. And then we scored though, so I got to celebrate a goal. You know what I mean? So a draw at Wembley and a goal. Do you know what I mean? I don't ask for a lot. It's different supporting Scotland. So there's stuff to work on. It's still a young squad. There is actually a lot of potential in there. So I'm actually going to end it in a positive. I feel like it was 23 years to get here. I feel like for me to be like, moaning and getting emotional about it wouldn't be really fair. We need to look at it as like a process. So I think we'll look towards trying to get the World Cup qualifiers now. And there's definitely potential for that squad. And albeit, I'm not saying Billy Gilmour with a difference, but for him to go down to Wembley and play like that, I feel like we've got someone who can start in our midfield for the next 10 years as well. So there is plenty of positives, but I've got to be honest, mate. I think the Czech game's the one that killed us. Yeah. We needed to get something from the Czech game. I think it all comes down to that, really, because you could tell Croatia when they wanted to turn it on tonight, their midfield is very good.
Yeah, it was that game because you actually had the chances to take the lead, to equalise in that game, and you just didn't do it. And yeah, I was watching the game tonight. That McGinn miss, I can't believe he missed it. It was just
not enough's been made about it, Terry. Like it's 2 yards out. It's
he went with the outside of his foot and hit it with the inside of his foot.
Yeah, he messed up. He really did. He did. Egal's joined us here. What are you saying, mate?
That's what I'm saying. Man of the match performance. Yo, listen, Bukayo Saka, you guys, a lot of people disrespected him. And I'm not just Neeks, you know what? I re-listened to what you actually said.
Thank you.
To listen to it. You did say the role, but one thing you did
I'm glad you listened to that.
You mentioned guys like Dominic Calvert-Lewin having impact. You mentioned guys like Watkins might even have more impact. But I don't see how Bukayo Saka might have impact in this team. Also, a lot of people were saying Bukayo Saka, why is he going to Euros? Today, everyone was talking about Jadon Sancho. After the game, who was everybody talking about? Bukayo Saka. You want to know why? Because the man instant impact. He drives the ball from deep. Amazing performance as an individual. Today, all the people who've been making fun of Arsenal, saying, you know what, this kid, he's overhyped. People making jokes. A lot of people do that. And you know what? Just appreciate the youngster. Because England got to see today why we love this kid. Why we always say, you know what, this guy has the potential.
England got to we know, bruv, he's ours. Bruv, he's ours. He's ours. We know how good he is. He's ours.
He's ours too.
To us, he's ours.
He came from hell. I'm claiming him as much as you're claiming him. But Terry, let me finish.
What do you mean you're claiming him? He's mine. He's English.
He's not yours. He's not yours.
Terry,
let me finish.
You can't be loving this because you're a French fan.
Finish.
You're a France fan, so you should be upset that Saka's
Let me
playing
finish. For
All
God's
right,
sake.
I'm
just happy as an Arsenal fan. I could care less what England do. I'm only cheering for my guy Bukayo Saka. But I'll tell you guys this. If he does not start the next game, it's a mistake because that guy he brought instant impact to the game. He was driving from deep, picking up the ball, bringing the play forward, linking the midfield and attack. He was doing so much things. On top of that, his versatility allows you to change the game in the middle of the game without having to make too many substitutions. I'm telling you right now, if Bukayo Saka does not start the next game, it will be a big mistake. And I'm not saying Jadon Sancho is not great, but you know what, guys? Jadon Sancho has not played too many games for England recently. And Bukayo Saka is ready. He's hungry. And today you've seen the electricity, everything that he offers. And also, that goal would have never been scored. That goal would never have been scored if it wasn't for him first picking up the ball and driving the attack forward. And also later in that game, just a couple plays away from getting a second. If Kane would have just slotted in Bukayo Saka, but the ball got taken away. I'm gonna take this and be like, yo, you guys, everyone got to see today why we gassed this guy. And you know what? You can join the hype train because we've been here. We've been saying this from time.
I know you have.
Don't call me crazy, but
no, it's getting crazy.
If Bukayo Saka is playing on that right wing, he's clear of Jadon Sancho right now in the sense in the sense Jadon Sancho is world class. I get it. But Bukayo Saka right now offers you more defensively, offers you more versatility, offers you more throughout the whole 90 minutes than Jadon Sancho does, in my opinion.
Imagine this England squad is actual Arsenal
a lot of what you're saying, because we play pragmatically, and we need a player who plays for a pragmatic team, a defensive team, a team that isn't great as a collective going forward and has those individuals that are needed. You're absolutely spot on there. What I would say, and I think with the way Arsenal play, Saka's used to it, if that makes sense. So I think interestingly as well, about one thing you said about people getting on his back. Whenever you have a talented youngster, be prepared for everyone else to say he's trash. The amount of people that say Greenwood's trash, the amount of people that already say that already slagging off Jadon Sancho, like Mason Mount gets a lot of it. Interestingly, Phil Foden went through like a 2-month period at the end of the season where suddenly everybody fell in love with him, if that made sense. But already you can see a couple of other players outperforming in one game, and it's drop him, bench him. It's how it is. It's the nature of the beast. But I agree with you. Saka has to start the next game because of how good he was today. I didn't realize he was awarded the man of the match thing, because obviously it'll go live straight after. But yeah, absolutely brilliant. English boy, England born and bred. Love to see it, mate. This is England. That's what I'm saying. This is what I'm saying.
Can I just say though that I feel like obviously Saka played well, but come on, man, we're going on about him like he flipping scored a hat trick and dribble past like flipping the whole Czech Republic. Do you know what? He played well, man. Young talent. It's good. I understand why people would want him to start, and it makes sense. I do still think that Sancho is probably the best winger in this squad. The same way we say that Grealish is the best 10, and if he was given the minutes, he would have been able to show how class he is. But hey, I mean, Saka's been given his chance.
Why are we speaking hypotheticals? A great man. You once told me. Why are we speaking hypotheticals?
Daniel, let them have this. This is all they got.
Of course, but I do
one at a time.
No, 100% KJ. I hear it, innit? But I do want to reiterate that we're speaking hypotheticals about class players. We were speaking hypotheticals about Grealish being the best player in the England squad. And what did he do today? He came out and pulled out an assist. I have no doubts that if Sancho was to play and have a game where he's able to also show in this tournament, the cream always rises to the crop. He's the best winger in this squad. Simple as. And Grealish is the best 10 in the squad. The best players always rise to the top. I mean, Kane, he's been lacking in fitness, and his ones are he's been questionable. But these flair players, you give them a platform, they will show. But Saka, do you know what? All credit to him, man. He deserves. He
did very, very well. Egal, I want to ask you a question. Something I only just replaying in my head what you said. You said that he's clear of Sancho, but Sancho is world class. Are you stating that Saka's world class?
Listen, Saka has the capability to get to a world-class status and be known as one of the best right wingers or wingers in general in the world if he continues on the trajectory that he's at. I'm not saying he's there, he can get there. But what I'm saying, in the system that you're playing right now, overall, he will offer you more from the defensive end to the attacking end than Jadon Sancho. I haven't watched Jadon Sancho as much as some of you guys have, but I'm not sure if his defensive capabilities is up there. We know Saka has played as a right back and as a left back and as a left wing back, so he has the defensive capabilities. And when you have a pragmatic team, which you've been going on about all day, he will suit the system more than any other player in that right wing. And I don't want to hear about Phil Foden starting on the right ever again. It makes no sense.
There we go. Do you know what? I love seeing Egal happy. He's such a different person when he's happy. Do you know what I mean? He's absolutely brilliant. A comment here says England is embarrassing compared to Italy. Thank you. Cheers. I
mentioned Austria.
Saka had more than 10 assists.
What I can say is this. As an Englishman, I don't feel embarrassed right now. I don't. So I don't know how every other English person, English fan feels, but I definitely don't feel embarrassed. Lamin says, "Can't wait for Saka to be a Chelsea legend."
I was gonna say, with Egal bigging up Saka in that way, like
He'll be gone soon.
you better hope that the Man City scouts are not watching the stream.
No, you're in the mud. Don't forget. I forgot about you.
Hang on a minute, Neeks. What I would say is this: forget Man City scouts. They better be careful that Villa don't come in, bro. Do you know what I mean? They're circling.
Egal, I'm not.
You can do better than that.
Egal, you are wrong. You thought I said something that I didn't, and you admitted that I didn't say it. So my question was, what is Bukayo Saka's role in this squad? That was my question.
Stop.
And no, I'm not going to stop. You can
mentioned Dominic Calvert-Lewin and
Listen to what I
ahead of
said.
Saka.
No, I remember what
Don't try to get yourself out of your fraudulence.
Stop talking. This is what I said. I said, if you need to bring on a left back, are you going to bring on, or you have to play a left back, are you going to play Saka over Shaw or Chilwell? No. If you need a goal, are you going to bring on, I might have mentioned Greenwood, but obviously he's not in the squad, Calvert-Lewin, if you need a goal. Rashford, are you going to bring on Saka? I said no. I also said Sterling, Grealish, Mount, obviously, and Sancho are ahead of him in the squad. Now, I'm not Gareth Southgate. I can't bank on him playing or not playing whoever I suggest. But I'm not going to change my opinion that Sancho, Grealish, Sterling should all be ahead of Saka in the pecking order. It doesn't take away from his performance today, but he's still the fourth best winger in the squad.
Can I say something? You also mentioned Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Watkins ahead of Saka in your soliloquy.
I don't know if I mentioned Watkins.
No. I rewatched the video 5 minutes ago while we were in the squad live. Just to come back and say you mentioned those two guys ahead of Saka.
So if you need a goal, so if you need a goal, no, Egal, if you need a goal, you're gonna bring off the bench. You're gonna bring off the bench. You need a goal. You bring on Saka, or you're gonna bring on Calvert-Lewin. You're gonna bring off the bench.
You're gonna bring on Saka because Saka's gonna drive the ball from deep. He's gonna create the goal, and he's gonna listen. Saka today created the goal and almost scored it himself. So you cannot tell me Dominic Calvert-Lewin is going to pick up the ball from deep, create the chance, and then almost finish it himself. That's not going to happen.
I didn't go for that specific. Who's going to pick up the ball from right back? I said, if you need a goal, do you bring on Greenwood or Calvert-Lewin, or do you bring on Saka? Now, of course, stop. Southgate may bring on Saka. He may bring on Saka. But that's not. But it doesn't mean. It doesn't mean that I think he's a better goal threat than Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I'm not changing that opinion.
I hear that. I want to. Kesh has something to say. What you can say, Kesh?
But before you get a goal, you need to create it.
Yeah, so, Grealish, Sancho.
No, but you're saying Grealish, but without Saka, that goal don't come.
Oh, man.
For fact, no. Don't say because we can say Grealish.
No, I agree.
Wait, hold on. Grealish made the assist, but in terms of the chances created, Grealish didn't do much other than that.
That's not the question. That's not the
Case, I'm getting to the point. How many times did Saka have to get England up the pitch? How many times?
I agree with that. Yeah.
Kesh, this is the problem already, because in the same way, which I think I was saying to you on Twitter, the fact that England are struggling to get the best out of their best players is the problem. So when I make a statement that the best players should be playing, and we got to the tournament and the best players aren't performing, that's not on me. Because the best players should be playing and performing. That's not on me.
I hear a lot of what's being said here, guys. Do you know if the other day I got slammed for talking about someone that helped in the build up to a goal. I was told that was a nothing thing, and now today Saka's being awarded the assist over it. I love football fans.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, it is. It's funny.
No, he's on your side. He's on your side again.
On your side,
On
your side.
Jeez.
On the other day when I was on here, I praised a cut-in pass that broke the lines that led to the pass that then the assister then passed it and a team scored. I'm not going to say who played that first ball, and everyone's like pre-assists or helping build up goals. They don't mean anything. That's what I love about football fans, is depending on who does what, the viewpoint changes, and I love it. I legitimately love it because I just do. Some players. Do you know what I also love as well? I want to mention Jack Grealish and something else. Did you all watch the build-up? Did you all see like Jack Grealish's interviews? Did you hear the two words that this guy has said in about 5 interviews I've seen in the last few weeks? What do you love about? Basically, what is your drive on the football pitch these days? I want to get goals and assists. I want to score goals or I want to assist goals. And people say outputs don't matter. And do you know what I love about it? Because Grealish is the poster boy of the eye test merchants. And he's just sitting there saying, none of what I look like matters unless I'm setting up chances or scoring goals. I love it.
When I just said you need Saka, that chance don't come about unless Saka. There's people saying Grealish is a better creator than Saka. No one's saying he isn't. But in this England team, Grealish is not taking the ball the way Saka is on the halfway line. Because if he's there, who's going to make the final pass?
No, mate, and do you know what? I mean, you are right. And someone is saying there, but Terry, there was 2 deflections before the goal. Yes, but not from Bruno's pass that opened the team up. When will football fans realise? And I'm going to shock you all here. I'm silence for this. It's a big one. This is a team sport. You can't just. You could have the best striker in the world ever. Do you know what? Time machine, get in the DeLorean, go and get Pele for when he was 18 years old and stick him in a team with no creativity. He's not scoring. How many goals he scored? 22,000 or something. That's what he claimed. Like, he ain't scoring. He scored so many goals. A lot of them I heard. I heard he even counts goals he scored against his kids in the back garden, but I don't know if that's true. Like, but the point is, if you don't have creativity, isn't there? By the way, if you have all the creativity in the world, but you're not defensively sound, you lose the games anyway. Like, I get so sick and tired of football fans that believe it's all about one player. It's one player can make a difference, but you still need everything else around it. And Saka was so important today. But then if Grealish doesn't pull off that brilliant cross, and if Raheem Sterling isn't in the right place, then Saka's run meant nothing. It's a team effort. And today, the reason I think Saka has to stay in the team is because we look the most conducive as a forward line that we've looked in the whole tournament, including Harry Kane. In that it was the best we've looked. So I don't want to see that broken up. Unless it's an injury, I thought it's the best we've looked. We've moved the ball well, and the Czechs are not a bad team either. Do you know what I mean? They made it hard for us at times tonight as well. So, but there we go. That's my thoughts and that's my feelings. The panel have had their say. We've picked our team. Commiserations again to Scott. So I got to laugh, but I'm only laughing because you man got your bollocks out on our tube, bruv. Like I've seen it.
Yeah, I know. But see, no, it's not that. It's just that the fact is, it's not. I really don't mean you guys, right? But I'm on Twitter and I'm seeing it, and it's like I don't think some English Twitter understand Scottish humour because like we'll take the piss out ourselves about this, right? Like we've already done it, and then it's like. It's so obvious what's going to happen. They're bringing out the I Can Boogie, and as soon as England get put out, the first song that all of Scottish Twitter is going to do is you're going to hear I Can Boogie, and it's going to rattle all these accounts. So I just don't know how they don't see that that's what's going to happen. But no, I've got this.
You know what I find mad about? Like, I'll always have a laugh at the Scots' expense, and I know, but it's all just banter. Do you know what gets me is how people. It's a bit like the "It's Coming Home" thing. How people get upset about England fans saying it. Honestly, if I run this country, I would make it illegal to be offended by the words "it's coming home." Like, no, it's not. Why are you angry, bruv? Just relax. It's a song.
I know.
It's a song. Listen, everyone who's tuned in, a massive thank you to each and every single one of you. Smash that like button. Subscribe to the Football Terrace. If you're watching over on Twitch, big numbers on Twitch tonight for us over there, which is amazing. Make sure you follow us over there as well. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Goodbye. God bless, and we'll see you all again very, very soon.